Headed beast, Ronan Bennett's new BBC One drama also has no shortage of plot strands. Hidden, a political thriller, is a new vehicle for one of TV drama's best-loved stars. Few characters are as imprinted on the national psyche as life on Mars' misanthropic detective Gene Hunt.
What about this?
Now Philip Glenister, the actor who made the role his own, is starring in a new conspiracy thriller, Hidden, which has tempted him back to BBC One for the first time since Ashes to Ashes.
Well, it was the writing and the story. I met David Thompson, the executive producer, and Ronan Bennett, the writer, and we met and had a drink and talked about it, and it just sounded very interesting, very intriguing, something very of its time now.
Harry Venn is a small-time solicitor with a penchant for women and a decidedly murky past. He comes face to face with his history when enigmatic lawyer Gino Hawkes, played by Dutch film star Thekla Rutten, asks for help in locating a witness. Drawn in by a mix of intrigue and money, Harry agrees, hooked by the possibility of also investigating the violent death of his brother 20 years before.
I saw Harry, Paul Hillman.
Yeah, there's just one problem, Stevie. Paul Hillman's dead. He has been for 20 years. My dad ID'd his body, same time he ID'd Miles. I think that the performance is reflected very much in the title and in that thing of having a number of skeletons in the old cupboard. And as I say, through his journey, we see points where we wonder, you know, what he's going to give away, what's going to be revealed, how he's going to cope with it.
Set against a backdrop of political scandal and corruption, with London streets alive with the familiar sight of riots and protest, Harry sinks ever deeper into a hidden conspiracy he can't begin to understand. Ronan Bennett, whose writing credits include Michael Mann's Public Enemies, wrote the script in collaboration with Hollywood veteran screenwriter and producer Walter Bernstein, best known for such high-profile films as Failsafe. So will the plot twists, the femme fatale and dissolute hero be enough to grip viewers, and will Harry Venn shoulder Gene Hunt aside in the public imagination?
As long as you understand, because actions have consequences. That's just the law of nature.
I need to find out who killed Mark and why.
Mark, I mean, Philip Glenister's now in the hands of a pretty well-established, brilliant writer. Does he relish the challenge, do you think, in the portrayal?
Yeah, I think Philip Glenister's an incredibly generous actor, because I think what a lot of people do, particularly with teleacting, is try and make the script more interesting because by doing quirky things. And actually, Glenister's quite neutral, almost bland in the part, and he really just allows himself to be a vehicle for the story, and it's a really great story. We only saw part one, and I'm definitely going to tune in. There's all sorts of plot questions that I want the answer to. So at the beginning I thought, am I going to engage with this guy, because he's almost runs the risk of being bland, and I think that's an incredibly brave thing for an actor to do.
I think he is brilliant. I think he gives it a sort of force field in the middle. I really did love it, but there are things about it that slightly annoy me. Certainly at the start, it's slightly sub-Chandler-esque in the writing, so and slightly knowing in that sense. And so that Glenister's got lines like, you know, I knew you were a smart broad because you didn't drink the coffee. Yeah. And actually, it takes a really good actor to pull those off, and he does. And I thought, as it went on, that its sort of artifice was overcome by a kind of
down really quickly.
Down, and you start to be very interested.
I mean, you say that. I actually enjoyed that artifice because it's a very, very knowing production. Knowing in the best way, in as much as it takes for granted that the audience will know a lot about the genre, but also wants to get into it. Yeah. So it starts really fast. It starts with a flashback. You don't know where you are for the first 10 minutes, and it takes you along, and it assumes that because we've all been watching these great dramas on TV over the last few years, the Killing,
well, I was just saying that's where everybody's upping their game, because you've got the Wire, State of Play, and you've got The Killing, and now this is going to be on BBC One at 9 o'clock, where Spooks has played very well. But it really, it's this idea of challenging entertainment for the audience.
Well, I think I agree with you about Glenister, because I think the audience has come to sort of love him and trust him so much that even though he seems to be now kind of Gene Hunt on Prozac in this, you know, sort of with a bit of
cocaine, actually.
Yeah, well, but he seems it's melancholia though, isn't it? Really, he's slightly sort of sedated.
Yeah, but Ronan
But
Bennett loves those kind of flawed heroes. The people sort of...
Well, doesn't he just? You see, this is where I disagree with you, because I think well, there's knowing, and there could be. We could say it's tired, because I think everything that you would expect from the genre is absolutely there. You know, you've got a rumpled hero, check. His marriage is on the rocks, check. He's got a disaffected, and all that LA gumshoe.
The question is what you do with that, though, and that's what's exciting to me, and that's one of the frustrations, good frustrations, of only seeing the first part.
Yes, I agree.
Because we don't know how.
To see more.
Because also there's a massive conspiracy thing going on. The Prime Minister's in trouble.
I think it's beautifully directed and acted.
I did again think that the women were fantastic. Glenister's a sort of magnetic force field, but I like the fact that you've got this wonderful sort of glamorous, mysterious lawyer who comes in, again a bit Chandler-esque, but you've also got his wife who's not depicted as the traditional wife. You know, they're divorced, but they have a relationship that works. And then you know that Anna Chancellor's about to appear, and she's going to be involved in the conspiracy. And I thought, actually, in that sense, it had a richness that took me by surprise, and that rather undermined the idea that it was going to be genre and typical.
But the idea of the overarching, or the underarching at the moment, political story, but also the riots as well, it didn't feel like it was shoehorned in any way. It felt like we are dealing with a contemporary drama.
I mean, I thought the gritty glamour of London and that world was fantastic, and I thought it was wonderful. The only flaw for me was that political strand. Those characters, there's this coalition government, which isn't quite the same coalition government, there's some riots, which quite that all felt a little bit more generic to me, in a bad way.
It's trying to be state of play, I think, really. But what I think, it doesn't do is it doesn't manage to break frame in the way that, say, The Killing did.
And
I think that's what we judged against.
Exactly, we don't know yet, but what I like is the fact that it takes its psychic energy from the crazy state of our real world at the moment, from the fact that, you know, we are living in a time of conspiracy, we are living in a time when politicians and governments are lying to us, we are living in a time of riots and uncertainty and economic downfall. All of that is going on in the background, maybe explicitly, but also inexplicitly as well, or unexpressibly. And I love the fact that, in fact, they've taken all of those elements and formed them into something here. And so I don't think it's that heavy-handed in the playing of these. I think there's a lot that's going unsaid.
It's
the incredible thing that it was using all the elements, tick, 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 of a genre, and yet it felt like a breath of fresh air.
But you know,
it's an incredible thing.
Really.
But also, the way that it's unfolding so incredible, it's almost elliptically, you just have no idea. What I think is brilliant is not helping you in any way, and you just have to go with it.
Yeah. But you know what happens, don't you?
Yeah.
I think you should
appear.
You know, I'd seen the movie of Tinky Tailor Soldier Spy the night before, and actually this storytelling seemed far easier than the very elliptical storytelling of that movie. For me, I found this very easy to read.
Well, if you're ready to get your teeth into a fast-paced piece of modern drama, Hidden will be on very public display at 9 o'clock next Thursday on BBC One.